WebKit Tempo, and this is basically, you could call it the third part of our kind of series about pre-configured sites, what they are, how to deploy them, what's the best way to deploy them, and so forth. Now, so far we've already gone through what a pre-configured site is, and I've showed you how you can deploy it in just a matter of a couple minutes using the duplicator plugin. Today, we're going to be using the all-in-one migration plugin. Now, which one is better kind of just depends on you. As we'll see in the tutorial, the way that you set up all-in-one migration is a little bit different than how you set up duplicator, so depending on whether you're more comfortable working in certain areas of cPanel is going to depend which one you probably like the best. I would say in terms of time, it's pretty similar how much time it takes to set up either one. And this is also just a good tutorial in general if you need to know how the all-in-one migration plugin works, because it's basically exactly the same as migrating a regular site, as far as I can tell. So, just to give you a quick recap, a pre-configured site is basically just a WordPress default WordPress install I've set up, and then I've configured all the options, the plugins, the themes, the pages, the posts, and the settings to be exactly the way I like them every time I start developing a new site. So if you're into developing a lot of sites for clients or for yourself or whatever, having a pre-configured package site you can deploy that's got all these settings already done for you is going to save you a ton of time. If you're not already doing this, you need to start now. So I highly recommend you check out those first two videos and then come back and watch this one, and then you'll probably have a pretty good idea on what you need to do to set up your pre-configured site and which plugin you should be using to migrate it. So let's go. Alright, thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. Let's get right into it. So, last time we used Duplicator to move our prepackaged site from a package we created from my Sandbox 9 dev location into Sandbox 15. Now, or Sandbox 19 was the original location it was on. Now, this time I actually completely deleted the original prepackaged site, and all we have left is the packages now. And the reason is I just wanted to double check, because I'm sort of new to all-in-one migration. I wanted to make sure we could still use the file generated by all-in-one migration after the original site's deleted, which we're going to find that out in a second here. But anyway, I went ahead and deleted the version that we used Duplicator to create on Sandbox 15, and what we're going to do now is we're going to build a new version using all-in-one migration instead of the duplicator plugin. So it should be pretty easy to do, only take a couple minutes. Let's get going. First thing, you can see that we already emptied the space on my server. So what we'll do is we're going to jump in here in a second, but I'll just step back one step for you. Okay, so inside of my cPanel, your cPanel probably has something similar to this. This one has a Softalicious apps installer. I have another cPanel that has a different one, but they generally all work the same. So this, you can go right in and set up an installation of WordPress really quickly on your server. So we'll just go down here and set it up on Sandbox 15. We can just leave all this stuff the way it is, because we're going to be changing it all anyway. Okay, let's go. So you'll notice it does take a moment to do that, but it's pretty that part of it's pretty fast. So now you'll see we've got a blog here, and then we can log into the back end using, nope, it already logs us in. That's right. That's another benefit of doing it through the Softalicious, is that you can automatically get into the back end. So now we're here. This time we just have a totally blank blog, and what we need to do is first we need to install all-in-one migration. And you're going to pretty much use these same exact steps if you're just migrating a site. It doesn't have to be setting up a pre-configured site. So we'll activate that. Okay, now we'll go into the tool and import. And we'll import from a file, because I generated this .wpress file. So we will go ahead and grab that and start the import. Now you will notice that this import does take a few minutes to do. So whereas the duplicator plugin runs super fast and really only takes like probably less than a minute to do the whole thing, this one takes a little bit more time to set up for whatever reason. As you can see, the file if we go back in here, this file, well, I guess you can't see it right there, but I looked at it earlier and the file generated was about 85 megabytes. So it is quite a bit to import, but with Duplicator, what we did is upload it through cPanel, which is way faster than trying to upload it through WordPress. So that's definitely one benefit of doing it with Duplicator, but on the flip side, we also had to take the extra time to set up a MySQL database and copy down the login information and stuff with Duplicator. So just like anything else, you kind of got to weigh what's easier for you. And as you can see, it's still moving pretty good. It's not like crazy slow or anything like that, but it does take a little bit of time. The great thing about both of these plugins is that they're totally free for this application, so you don't have to buy anything. You can just use these right out of the WordPress plugin repository and install it on your site, create a package, and get going with it. So I really love that aspect of it, that you can do such an important task without actually even needing to buy a plugin to do it. Because originally, I was thinking with Duplicator, when I first saw them marketing it on their site, or when they first mentioned on the site that you could create a pre-packaged yeah, we'll just click proceed here. And then again, they're going to be loading more stuff. When I originally saw Duplicator advertising that you could create pre-packaged WordPress installations, I was thinking you would need to get the pro version of the plugin for it, but then after working with the plugin in one of the previous videos we did, I saw how easily that you could just do this with a free plugin right out of the box. So that's awesome, and props to them for that. Okay, so you see that the data is imported successfully. So we'll just click settings here, and that's going to open us into a new window. So we will log in with the login information we created on the original site. Oops, I shouldn't be. Okay, let's get that again. Man, every once in a while that gets me. If you ever get that, just clear your cache, and that usually solves it. Okay, so we can log right in. Now they do tell you to update your permalinks, so we'll just click Save Changes there, and then we are all set. So now all we have to do is just check and make sure that everything was moved over correctly. So if we go into plugins, okay, yep, you'll see that these are the exact same plugins that I had in my original thing. The only difference is it looks like it's added Hello Dolly, which we'll delete, and Akismet, which we'll also delete. Now let's check and see if it did the same with themes. Yep, okay, so it did add back 2015, 2017, and 2016, which, again, not a huge deal, but if you want to go back and delete these now, that is an extra step you have to do. Okay, whoops. Okay, anyway, let's check our posts. Okay, the posts are correct, and let's check our pages. Pages are correct, and let's just check Divi and make sure our license key is in there, because that's another important one. Yep, already active and ready to go. Okay, so as you can see, that one again, it took less than 5 minutes, and we deployed our site easily without having to really do anything except upload a file. And so now the question is, which one is better, Duplicator or all-in-one migration? Honestly, I like both of them for pretty much, I mean, they basically both do the same thing. It's just as easy for me to create install through Softalicious as it is to go into cPanel and upload the stuff and create the database. Now, one thing I do like about keeping it in Softalicious is that I can go back in here later and delete this installation, or at least I should be able to. I guess let's just go check and see if we can right now. Okay, recently installed, so we should be able to go in here and remove this completely. Which, when you're working on sites for clients, yep, okay, it worked. So even though we totally replaced it with a new site, we were still able to remove it completely. And when you're building sites for clients, once you transfer over the site to their server, then you're going to want to remove the one off your dev server. And it's really nice with Softalicious or a similar software like that, because they will take care of removing the database user, and all the files on the server, and completely wiping it. With Duplicator, I actually already had to do this to remove it off there before. I had to manually go into File Manager, delete all the files, and then I had to go into MySQL databases, find the database I created, and then delete that. So I had to manually do all that, which is kind of a pain. I mean, again, not a huge deal. So it just kind of depends on what you like. Or, some people I work with keep these dev sites on their servers forever, but we don't. We personally have too many projects going on to do that, and it would just take forever, or it would just I don't think it's a good idea anyway. So we typically will not do that. So with again, in trying to compare which of these two are better, I think it's a little bit easier to do it through Softalicious. I don't like it is also a little bit slower, and I don't like the fact that then you have to go back and re-delete Akismet and Hello Dolly and the 3 WordPress themes again. That's kind of a drag to have to do that, because that's one of the nice things about setting up this prepackaged site in the first place, is that we're getting rid of all that extra crap that we never use, so that we don't have to worry about it later on. So I don't like that, but I do like the way you can install it and clean it up really easily. With Duplicator, I like the way that it's pretty much lightning fast, super easy, straightforward to do. I had no issues doing it at all. It might be a little trickier for you if you're not used to setting up databases and stuff like that, so then you'd probably want to go with this route. But if you're really familiar and comfortable moving around in cPanel, then you'd probably have no problem with Duplicator either. So for me, I think for now, I'm actually going to maybe run with both of these and just kind of keep feeling it out and see which one I like better, because honestly, like I said, at this point, I would say they're both about the same for me, but that's a good thing because this is such a great application for these plugins. It's just awesome how much they help you and how much they can streamline that process of getting a site started. I know it's going to just save me a ton of time. So either way, you can't really go wrong. If you build a lot of sites, I definitely recommend you get on this and start doing it right away, because you are going to be glad you did. So I think that's all we got on pre-configured sites, and we're going to be moving on to something else after this, but thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and check back soon for more.